and now it should be recording.
Okay. So I think I'm going to start off by everyday prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So the prayer was, what do you remember?
It was, I pray for that the yard sales do well.
Yes.
And that the food is yummy.
So that was our prayer, and hopefully you receive that too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Christian, if you're not, it's okay. But still pray for the yard sales, please, because I feel so bad. I pass by these yard sales every day, and I'm like, especially when it's an old person,
Mm-hmm.
When it's an old person, I'm like, these old people need you to buy their stuff, even if it's crummy.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the extra $1.
Yeah, support yard sales.
Yes.
That's our platform.
So that's our opening right now.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll be something different. Okay. So, do you want to start again?
I guess so. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay.
Do you want to do the same talk, or do you want to switch to something else? We had technical difficulties.
We did have very extreme technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily the computer is not breaking. So we have a guy that's for feminism, but I'm not a full feminist. You have to understand. I love men. I do not want to I respect the fact that they're stronger than me most times. However, I hate the new stance of what people are coming up with.
Well, what new stance?
This new stance of men are high value now that if they have a bigger body count, but women don't because we have emotions.
I mean, I don't think that's really a new stance. It's actually kind of regressing to an old stance where there's always been this sort of double standard where that perspective exists, and I feel like it went down for a little bit, but recently it feels like a lot of prejudice has been getting worse.
Came back again.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I remember the women aren't helping though. I hate to say it because remember the suffragettes.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, I didn't know them personally, but I'm aware of them.
Do you want to go back in time and meet one?
That'd be great. Yeah.
I think that would be genuinely fun. Have you ever seen oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. Mary Poppins.
Yes.
The mom was a suffragette, and how cute she was.
Oh, yeah.
How cute she was.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
She was like, I'm gonna go pray and sing for the people in jail now, and I'm gonna go do this and that and all that, and dress. Oh wait, hold on.
Excuse
Let's
me.
record that beautiful sneeze.
Excuse me. I just.
God bless you. You interrupted me though.
I'm sorry. Well, I wasn't on purpose. But yes, you.
It was very planned.
100%. I was waiting for the perfect moment. Okay, so the suffragettes.
Yes. So the thing about it is that women have to blame too, because how we are choosing to reflect ourselves isn't the peak of what we could be.
Well, what do you mean by that?
So we're choosing to also feed into very much our value is through being very sexualized. You have to admit.
Some women.
Some women. I'm but this is what I mean. Not all men are gonna see it how I see it, and not all women are gonna see it how, just like how you don't see it, how these guys see it.
Yeah.
The thing about Andrew Tate is recently he said, every time in the past, men used to marry tons of wives and all that. But you have to understand why they used to do that. They used to do that, because you know why they used to do that? Is because other countries wanted to be okay with that country. So they thought that being safe was having them marry their daughters, so it would form an alliance.
Oh yeah, marriages have been used for alliances for...
And it wasn't that, so
they
used it for that reasoning, not because, we just want to be very promiscuous, and this man really can get all these women and ball it, It was because they were hoping.
Wait, so are you saying that Andrew Tate is advocating for a return to that?
If you're rich.
So there's
rich.
so there's also some classism here.
Yeah.
Only if you're rich.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I never saw it that way, but yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually listened to anything he said, but every time I've heard of him, he seems like a real
Don't get me wrong.
jerk.
I think he's attractive despite him being bald.
Okay.
I like bald men.
Sure.
I told you what I liked in men, right? remember?
Yeah, it was like more mature and like.
Well, no, it's like okay, so like secretly my little pet peeves of what I like. Do you remember?
I don't know if I remember all the specific details.
I know. Why would I want to remember that? It's a friend thing. So.
Yeah. And what were they?
So I like it when like ballerinas can tap their toes like up in the air together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like people like downgrade men ballerinas. You know how strong you have to be?
Oh my god,
it is actually do that?
Yeah, no, it's super hard.
And people say that's gay, but I think that's so attractive and so funny. Like, can you try to do that for me?
Can I try and tap my toe? I'm not a ballerina. Like,
up in the air?
I mean, I can try. Like, what, right now?
Yeah, well, too bad we can't record it, but that's how radio goes. Can I see it, though?
Okay.
Just don't make too much noise. We have an apartment.
I mean...
we have a downstairs floor people.
Okay.
Sinners. That was more a Irish jump.
Hey, well,
that was
like I said, I'm not a ballerina. I have not.
So have you seen ballerinas? They'll stay up in the air and then like double click it in the air for like 3 or 5 times.
Yeah, I know. No, they're very well. They a lot of times those people have been trained since like 3 or 4 years old, and they've just been practicing basically their whole lives. Yeah. It no, it takes a lot of precision and strength.
Like, so if I could have a guy, I would want that.
You'd want a ballerina?
Yeah, I would want something like that, or someone that can do that. So when I'm bored, I can be like, can you just do that for me?
Can you just tap your toes for me? Yeah, okay.
Up in the air, leap.
Dance for me.
You know, so that one is my thing. So I kind of have high standards, but you don't have to do that. And then,
okay.
And then I don't care if men or women play. Here's the thing, like I've shown that to you too. That's the thing he hates too.
What's that?
Men and women have to pay, or women hate to pay, or something. That's so not true.
Oh, you mean like on dates and like who pays when? Oh, what does he hate? He hates that men pay, or
no?
What?
Okay, I have to be very clear. I'm sorry. So he thinks that like girls are like gold diggers and like anyone who like some things, you know, like that. And you have to understand that some girls do like to pay for things. It's just the ones that you're going after. Whatever you gravitate to will come to you. So if you want this high standard, you have to kind of also look at yourself. Because whatever you're receiving will gravitate to you. It's so true.
No, yeah.
And the problems he's having with women, it's like, well, you're somewhat gravitating to it because it's kind of what you are. You don't even see it.
Yeah.
Because some guys want, like, they're so bored of these girls being average Joes or having no creativity or having no value to them. I'm like, maybe it's a you. Maybe it's a you problem. Maybe you're
brutal. Damn.
Maybe you kind of don't have a personality. Like, or maybe it's that they're so shy around you that they don't feel comfortable enough to show their personality to you. Yeah.
Maybe if you're a jerk, then you won't attract cool people.
I know, and like if your only value is trying to get money and flashing your money, of course you're gonna get those gold digging women. But his thing is like having women who will love you and want to like, oh, he can be promiscuous, but women cannot. So you have to accept the fact that like you know how the King Day, the King Day. So
that's so he just wants. Okay, so
like you see my issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't get me wrong. I like him. I like his business strategy of like get up, do the work, apply yourself. You know, I love that aspect, and I think he's handsome. But this whole women thing, I'm like,
that's the second time you've mentioned him being handsome. That's so interesting.
I think he's handsome. I think you're handsome too.
Well, thank you. Appreciate.
You know, but because I don't want people to misconstrue me. I'm very much friendly. I can see the good even when they're evil. Well, maybe not in Hitler, like you know.
Do you know he was a vegetarian? That's your fun fact about Hitler today.
So is that supposed to be like a way to say, oh, he was a vegetarian, to be a little bit happy about him?
No, it's just you're not supposed to take anything from it.
He'll kill people, but not human. Wait.
Well, okay. I mean, if I don't know if we should get into Hitler, but like
I don't want to get into Hitler.
Like, yeah.
I can't really find anything good about Hitler.
I mean, I wasn't trying. Just a fun fact.
His mustache was interesting. He came up with the mustache that everyone
He didn't
knows.
come up with that mustache.
Oh, he didn't come up with that mustache?
No.
Then how come everyone...
It was a style.
How come when everyone puts that on now, they're like, you're trying to
Whoa.
be Hitler?
Well, because now everyone associates it with him. But like Charlie Chaplin. Yeah,
oh my god. Wait, you jinxed.
We did.
We did.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
You owe me a soda.
I think, but who said it first?
No.
I have sodas.
No, I don't. I'm good. I actually don't drink soda.
I know. I figured.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that mustache was just a style. But then Hitler was just the most famous person with it, so now everyone associates it with him, and now no one wears it.
I know, yeah, but Charlie Chaplin was the first ever. But yeah, so if you wear that now, they're not going to think Charlie Chaplin. They're going to think Hitler.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything good that came from him. So I can think of everything good for everyone else, but not for him. I can even come up with, people are going to be shocked, I can come up with good things about Putin, surprisingly. He was really good to animals so far that I've seen. He's really loving, but I'm like, to people, sometimes I'm like, ugh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about Putin's personal life. Just whatever politics or what's going on right now. Not deeply, but I'm familiar with it.
I think we went down so many trains.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, they're like, what's happening right now?
Branching.
It's whatever coming to us.
Wherever the conversation
okay,
goes.
so I think I told you this, like, if I wanted a guy, I would want someone who also does the Phantom of the Opera mask, half of it.
Okay.
And then, like, girly socks. Like, I don't want a man to be really girly with me. I don't mind it. I like masculine, though, but if girly socks, I'm like,
I do remember you saying that.
Something about girly socks really gets me there.
Yeah. That's what like so girly like girly like just frilly or like knee highs or like what
they can have everything on it as long as it's girly, like lacy, pinky.
Okay.
Little cartoons on it.
Got you. That's what does it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. Oh, you know what doesn't do it for me?
What's that?
Outie belly buttons. I don't care. But do you have one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them?
You know what? I've never
One?
I mean, I've seen pictures of them, but I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
Really?
Yeah. Just by chance.
Just by chance.
Yeah. Because
I don't like outie belly buttons.
Okay.
Something about them scares me.
Yeah.
It freaks me out, or it just makes me want to pop it in. And I think
press on it.
And I think that's why I don't want to get pregnant either. Because if I get an outie belly, every woman that's been pregnant usually gets an outie belly button.
Oh really? I didn't realize
that. You didn't notice that?
No.
Have you not been around a lot of pregnant people?
I mean, I have, but I haven't seen them like with their belly bare, I guess, or maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you
I have
pay
seen
attention.
it. Wasn't paying
You
attention.
need to pay attention.
Yeah. Can be observant if I'm focusing, but if I'm not,
but everything I tell you to try to observe, you never observe it.
What are you talking about? Name one thing.
I can't name it now. Like, have you been paying attention to how people do napkins? Like, wipe their hands with napkins?
No.
See? Like, I told you, like, you know, if they, like, finger, like, little, like, if they've been eating Cheetos and all they do is, like, gently, like, finger the napkin, but don't fully, like, wipe their hand.
Right, yeah.
You see, like, certain ways of...
Yeah.
There's a certain way to wipe your hands with a napkin, and it can tell a lot about a person.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there a correct way, or is it dependent on, like, what's on your hands?
I think it doesn't matter, but most times you have to admit, sometimes how people use napkins is weird.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've watched very closely how other people use napkins, so I don't have a strong opinion about this.
You like that? Wait, is this something you're gonna think about in the future?
Maybe, if I remember it.
Let's make sure it's recording.
That would be
okay. It's recording.
It's recording. Okay. Yeah. I hope it has picked it up though. Like.
Be louder.
Be loud. Okay, I will talk like this now.
Wait, you sound like an announcer though, right there.
Yeah, I could do it.
Are you an announcer?
No.
Can you go really fast? Like speaking talkways?
Just in general?
Like, yeah, like
you mean if I'm having a conversation,
like,
can I talk really fast like this?
Well, no. If you were gonna be like,
or are you talking about like
an auctioneer or a radio host, like rodeo.
A rodeo?
Kind of thing.
I mean, if I had something to say, maybe, like...
If I give you a piece of paper, will you start doing it?
Sure.
Okay, let's see.
I like tongue twisters a lot.
Oh my gosh, okay, hold on. So I was doing this. I recorded a dream I had last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also recorded something of a tongue tire that I had. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do not like looking things up. Even if I somewhat have a vague memory of it, because I think it's your way of making your brain smarter. I think that's your way of your brain making you smarter, because you have to think about it till you achieve it, and if you achieve it, you got smarter. That's how my brain works.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on, my mom's calling.
Okay.
Hello? Are you coming? We're doing a podcast. Are you okay? Are you scared? Is everything good? No, not everything's good? Is he mad? Claire is not there? Hold on. This really dampened the mood. Okay, hold on. No, you're fine. I can ask Eric, yeah. Do you know any muscles?
You mean like strong people?
Yeah.
I mean, I know David, like...
Okay, hold on. She wants to talk to you.
Oh.
My mother is talking to my friend.
Hello?
This is an interruption.
Mm-hmm.
She feels embarrassed to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second. I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the only big guy I know is David, Nat's boyfriend, but like I know he's really busy a lot of the time. Is it to move like he's like moving to a different place? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, you're good. Okay. Okay, here. Here, I'll give you back to Maddie. Thank you. Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you okay? It's not to be mean or anything, Mom. It's just I don't have any muscle either. If I had a muscle, I would do it. The capability of yeah, I understand. Okay. Okay, I love you. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Why? Sorry about that. She just genuinely wanted to know if you had some muscle friends, because right now he's moving and no one showed up right now.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
She wasn't personally asking you, but she was wondering if you knew anyone to pay to have muscle.
Yeah,
This is why I wanted a friend where it's like a lawyer friend, a muscle friend, or like a tsunami wrestler or something, because I feel like they would give really good hugs, and like they would be really supportive emotionally, and like lift something. If I found like a big old piece of furniture, he'd come and get it.
Yeah.
And then I want a dentist friend, a doctor friend.
You just collect them all? Like...
You're one of them. You're the lawyer friend.
Yeah, there you go.
And then a techie friend, which I have PG. Yes. And then I need a few other people I'm forgetting. But yeah.
Okay.
Collect them all.
Yeah.
Someone that will help me survive if an apocalypse happens.
Right. Yeah. Then you have your apocalypse survival team.
Oh, so people say that if a zombie apocalypse happens, I would rather use a cowhide to protect myself.
As armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know how hard it is to bite through cowhide?
Oh, yeah. No, it's
Have you
tough.
bitten through it?
I have not personally bitten through it, no. But I know it's tough. Yeah.
And, just wrap myself in cowhide, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would definitely work.
Yeah. I mean, we can test it out on my YouTube channel.
That's interesting.
Just a personal video named Biting Cowhide. How strong does it take to bite through cowhide?
I wonder if it'd be doable. Like, if you could...
Do you think you enjoy it, too, somehow?
I sincerely doubt that would be enjoyable. No, but I'm just thinking, I'm like, because you could buy a cowhide, like, or find one, maybe, if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there, and I'm wondering if you could just stitch it into clothing.
Yeah.
Because the dried hides that are still hides are significantly tougher than regular leather, that we use for clothes.
Yeah.
You know, but it would also probably make it a little harder to move. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's so tough. But that's interesting. Yeah. It's basically leather armor, but
exactly.
hide armor. Yeah.
And then the do you know how bristly some animals' fur is? It's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just the bristles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is your hair strong?
So.
So.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's super strong, but it's not fragile.
Yeah, you have really... I would imagine that curl would stop things. It's a force in
because
itself.
Because it's poofy. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm aware that, the fur of, a wolf, for example, is a form of armor. If they're fighting another wolf, the bite might not even reach their flesh if they bite someone where there's thick fur, you know, because it's tough.
Do you see why people say I have ADHD or autism? Because I go off track way too much.
Yeah,
a little bit.
A lot of people say I have ADHD too. So
I've gotten ADHD so much, but remember that guy I told you said I had autism because I was acting so crazy. I was just having a fun time how I am with you, and I wanted to make him stone soup, so I genuinely put stones in the soup. And we were just slurping the soup. But I guess this is what I mean. If you get boring people, you're not gonna be used to this.
Right? Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, they're only worth their bodies.
Wow. Damn.
You know this is how people think.
Some people, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And no, yeah. Some people are. They don't know how to actually have fun and play.
Yeah.
You know, they get really locked into this is just the way things are.
And don't get me wrong, I like it. I like strong, feminine. There's a feminine way where they talk and speak gracefully, and a man can do that too, a manly grace. And that's their personality. There's a right way to do it. You know what I mean?
What's the right way?
I don't know. Very who am I thinking of? Almost like Audrey Hepburn kind of thing. Her personality was very graceful, very feminine, very strong, but or I'm trying to think of other people. You know who else is do you know George Clooney's wife?
No.
Okay, well she's a politician, kind of she's an advocate actually for trafficked women and all that.
Okay.
And okay, if you don't want to be fun, be like that as a woman. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So if you want to be serious, do something to make the world better.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I also feel my perspective on it is that it is just dependent on context and the situation.
Exactly.
There are times when I am serious and I'm getting down to business and doing work, but then there are times when I'm no, this.
It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
They don't need to be.
It's like if you're in a. I was imagining about doing this. So remember I was trying to do a casting calls, and I was so there was kids shows, but I'm imagine me just being that extra that cries in the background. So I'm at the kids shows and I'm just crying in the background while everyone's singing Barney loves.
Why would you be crying at a Barney show?
Because that's the point of me. But you see what I mean by context?
Yeah. No,
but hey, if people would start to notice me, like, where's Waldo, kind of thing. I'm being like that for an extra.
Find Maddie in the background of every...
The crying girl.
Yeah. the crying kids show girl.
What would you do if you were like, oh my god, I love that, I'm going to do that? Mm-hmm. What would you do if you were an extra but had to be noticed and wanted to be like a Waldo figure?
But I had to be noticed. Okay.
Be creative.
Okay. Maybe I'd do something with face paints. And like, so maybe be a different animal every time, just in the back.
Just an animal in the background.
Yeah. It's like sometimes it's a wolf, sometimes it's a cat, sometimes it's a tiger, sometimes
it's that weird guy.
It's a seal. Like, yeah.
They're gonna think you're like a furry or something, though.
Well, no.
Do you like furries? Do you feel like you could be a furry?
I have nothing against them.
Do you feel like you could be a furry?
I could. I don't have any problem with them, but like I just don't have that desire.
I just don't know how people can stand being a furry, because think about how the mascots have to deal with always being in that heat. Yeah, that is actually something I think about. That like it would be so furry.
hot.
Yeah, being a furry, and think about these mascots.
Yeah. No, yeah. I feel for the people at Disneyland too, who are all in the outfits.
Heat
like,
stroke.
Yeah, in the middle of summer when it's 100 degrees out, like.
Can you imagine? Like, you just like pass out in front of all these kids because you're in the costume, and they're like, "What happened?" Horrible. It's because of who I'm in.
You're right. Like, yes.
Like you're in Goofy, and it's like Goofy killed me.
Yeah. See, some of them would be easier because the people, being like one of the princesses, like if they're Belle from Beauty and the Beast, like it's just a dress. It's still probably heavy, but it's not like Mickey Mouse with the head on.
Yeah.
And the whole suit,
Oh wait, hold on. I wanted to show you. So we got sidetracked when my mom called. But remember I said that when you get smarter, when you think about things, but I wanted to remember it. Okay, I still didn't figure it out, so I'm waiting till it gets smarter once I figure this out. You can tell me though, as long as it's not through technology. So hold on, let me see.
Okay. What was the thing you're trying to figure out?
So hold on, let me see. If I can hear myself. I recorded it. So that sounds like a nursery rhyme, but I didn't want to figure. I knew I wasn't saying it right, but it sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And if I achieve this rhyme in my mind,
puppets.
I will get smarter if I remember it. So, Mrs. Fluffit, did I say?
Something like that.
Mrs.
Muffet?
Do you know this nursery rhyme?
Mrs. Muffet sounds familiar. Or Miss Muffet. It might be Miss Muffet.
It's a nursery rhyme. I know it, but I didn't want to say it because I want to get smarter.
So no, I think it does sound familiar. I can't remember it though.
I know it sounds like Mrs. Tuppet, maybe. Mrs. Tuppet sat on a Muppet eating her rhymes and grits.
Her curds and whey.
Oh, you're figuring it out.
Yeah, it was eating her curds and whey.
And what happened to her at the end?
I can't remember.
What happens? There's a situation. I know there is. I just can't remember.
Yeah. And of course, like it's a little miniature story.
Wait, don't you feel like you're getting smarter just remembering it slowly?
Maybe I'm working. My brain is working hard.
Exactly.
Sure.
So when these things happen, I don't want to ask Google. I rather work my brain and try to figure it out.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm probably the total opposite. I always look things up.
But you shouldn't, then you'll be smarter. But you're already smarter. Here's the thing.
I just no, but my training for getting smarter is like learning new things, like learning about something that I'm not that I don't know.
Everyone's gonna know how to do.
No, well,
everyone thinks of that.
Okay, no, shush. I don't mean
shush.
Yeah.
You just shush me on my own thing.
You just dismiss me as like, well, that's what everyone does.
But it's true.
I don't mean learning things and then knowing those things is what makes you smart. I mean grappling with something that you don't understand
Yeah.
and working with it until you do understand it. It's not knowing how it works now. It's that process of figuring it out.
You know what I like too?
That is what
because
makes you
you're
smarter.
almost a physicist, right?
I enjoy physics a lot. I'm not
Yeah.
a physicist, but yeah.
I'm giving you a lot of credit. I give you a lot
Thank
of credit. Have you
you.
noticed?
Appreciate. Yeah.
I think what I like about physics
handsome,
is
smart. I'm like.
I compliment everyone that comes on. Hopefully. But the thing about being a physicist is that, like, I like that the conclusions they come up with, because sometimes it's not even the real conclusion to it, but just the idea of it is sometimes more interesting than what they came up with. You know, what's really it. The theories, you know what I mean? Sometimes the theories were more interesting, and they're just fun to hear.
Oh yeah. There's all sorts of theoretical physics. You get to really explore the possibilities.
Yeah, and it's fun, and sometimes it's more, like I said, it's more interesting than what you come up with, where it's like, oh, that's it? Like the sun burns us because it's hot?
Well...
you know what I mean?
That was okay, yeah. And actually solar physics is super fascinating, I think.
I mean, yeah, it is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us something about it?
Oh,
wait, hold on. Okay, wait, did it quit? Is it still recording? I think I figured out why it did that. I think so when I press this button on accident, it unstops, but I think it's still going. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, fun fact about solar physics is, so it works through fusion, right? It's putting two hydrogen atoms together. And that takes really high heat and pressure. And there's like tons of pressure because the sun is huge, so the gravity is really strong.
Yeah.
However, we're like trying to make fusion generators here on the planet as a way of having really clean, renewable energy. Well, not technically renewable.
Come up with that though? Do you think we'll actually?
Honestly, they've been working on it for like 80 years, and it's always 10 years away. So I don't think we'll see it in my lifetime, but maybe one day.
I know. In your lifetime, how about in my lifetime? We're only so years old.
We're like 5 years apart or something. Like, wait, no, you're 24?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're 8 years apart. I'm 32.
Okay, so you're not fully a decade older.
Yeah, not quite.
But I'll still respect you as my elder.
Oh, okay.
Don't you want to be respected as an elder?
I
don't even...
No, not actually specifically.
You want to know the thing is I don't find it mean when I get older when people say, you're so bad that you're growing older. Like, they lose respect. Here's another thing about Andrew, I'm going to go back to that, is that women lose their value as they get older.
That is something that is fucked up, but you've
heard it before, right?
Well, no, there's a very particular example of it that is easy to see, which is in Hollywood.
Exactly.
Like actors, male actors.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just don't want to lose this track. It's that the only time I've seen this happen to men, where it's like, okay, we're like what women experience, like how, oh, you're done, you've passed your age range, is in athletes. That's the only time I've seen it.
Well, you get in athletics that applies to both men and women. You just get old and then
you
you're
know
not.
what I'm saying though, but
that's
the only time
athlete.
I've seen it in men where they're like, yeah, you toss you aside, let's get the young person in here now.
Right? Yeah. No.
But he thinks that too about women, and I'm like, you have to understand. Sometimes women, because they like, to be honest, you just like how younger women look. Let's just be honest. You just like the youth look. Like, don't say it's because they've been through less dick. It's like, I've been with only one man my entire life so far. You know, so no. You know, I'm very less promiscuous. It all depends on, again, the person. And it's like, you just like the younger look, and, you know?
Yeah.
And...
Yeah, well, I mean...
It's all about people.
Like, yeah.
And...
Like I said, Andrew Tate is very judgmental and kind of sexist.
Very
sexist,
But you would,
actually.
I think you would like some of the aspect, like I said, if I show you some of the things, you'll be like, okay, I like him, I'm wavering, very much so. Because there's good sides to everyone, but like...
Sure.
Yeah, because he's very business, and even for women, he's like, get up and work. Do it.
The thing about that is that there are other people that have that exact same message without the attached judgmental sexism, all of that. So I would rather I would rather just dismiss Andrew Tate and be like, I can get the motivation and the hard work ethic from a source that's more ethical and responsible.
And I get, like, don't be a bump on the log. Get up. Don't become the log. You know? But, it's just like, if I'm not considered hot when I turn 25 or not wanted, Like, you think that really matters to me? Like, may I curdle, may I spoil, may I rot? Do you know how much rot looks cute? Like, literal rot. Like,
yes,
how interesting
actually,
and pretty it looks.
You know, I actually have an art book that you'd probably like. It's called Sacred Decay, and this artist does basically a lot of nature. There's like animals and fields and stuff. In various states of decay and interaction. And like it's a really fascinating.
So it's like, women, if you
images.
have an issue with this, understand there's beauty in rot, expiration date. It's all lies. Like, come on, you know, look at me. Like, you see me, you know, I'm 24, but like I look very
you look
young.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that doesn't look quite young with me is I'm starting to get those hips, Mexican hips that I never had before. You know, I'm getting hips, but yeah,
getting hips.
But, like, so it's just, I think it's just wrong to say that. I hope women just learn to respect themselves and love themselves, because you think I really care if I start to be considered devalued? No, I know my value. I'm interesting, I'm funny, I know this isn't being conceited. It's just you have to lift yourself up sometimes.
Yeah, no, you should be, you should like yourself, and your value doesn't come from what other people think of you.
And here's the thing about men and women too, that like, where I'm like, yeah, they don't seem interesting. I'm like, I think it's that they haven't had their own self-discovery yet. That's why. Like, they might seem boring, or they might seem so focused on all the drama. It's like they just haven't discovered themselves yet.
I just don't think that that's related to gender. Like,
Exactly.
there's boring guys, there's boring girls, there's interesting guys, there's interesting girls. Like, there's people all across the whole spectrum, and it's not related to gender.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, some people haven't gone through the process of self-discovery.
I think when people are considered boring, it's just that they haven't found themselves yet. They don't fully know where to find themselves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. I did want to finish this thing with the fusion solar physics.
Oh my God! I'm sorry.
Okay.
I interrupted you.
So to make it work, we can make it work here on Earth, like in a lab, but it just takes so much energy because you have to get it so hot that you get less electricity out of it. The funny thing about that is that we have to make it way hotter, like hundreds of times hotter in the generator here than it is in the sun. And the only reason it still works in the sun, even though it's a lower temperature, is because it's so large that in quantum physics, like there's a like, you can't define the position exactly. It's actually kind of, the particles smeared out over space a little bit. So sometimes they'll overlap and they'll just fuse by sheer chance. It's an incredibly low chance. That doesn't work here on Earth because the amount is so small.
Yeah.
But like, the sun is so huge that there's way more opportunities for that to happen.
But there's a reason why that it's like that. Like, everything has a purpose, a reason why it's like that, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, the sun wouldn't exist if that didn't happen.
Exactly. So
and then we wouldn't exist because...
Yeah.
You know.
Isn't it weird also we're made of atoms and protons?
Yeah.
Us ourselves are made of atoms and protons.
Literally everything.
That's so odd,
like,
don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I actually think about that all the time.
I think about it so much too. But I like to come up with different ways of what I am. Like, mix of proton and an atom. Come up with a different name that sounds like atom and proton.
A different name, a phlogiston.
You're filled with phlogiston.
Yeah.
Doesn't that...
That sounds strange.
That's exactly... You need that in your body.
Yeah. It's where the actual energy comes from to keep going and doing things. Yeah. Once you run out of phlogiston, you're dead.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's what about you? What are you filled with? What are you made of?
Adatrons.
Adatrons?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and what do adatrons do?
They make everything work in my body.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Okay. They keep everything in order, functioning,
Yeah, just like protons and atoms.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Yeah, I actually don't have protons and atoms.
You only have adatrons. Yeah. You're just made exclusively from... Yes. Absolutely.
So I am special.
So special.
Yes.
I mean, though, even hypothetically, because you're not, but even if you were made
special?
even if you weren't made of protons and atoms, jeez, don't cut me off. And But hypothetically, if you were, you'd still be special because you'd be unique. There's nowhere else that combination of atoms and protons ever existed, or ever will exist.
Even
probably.
Fingerprints, like you know how I made that creature made of a fingerprint.
Was that your fingerprint or?
No, I just created.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I don't know. I feel like if I put my fingerprint on like online, like they're gonna have my full identity of my thing. Like, how would you feel about that? Should I be as worried as I feel?
Oh, I mean, I don't think you're wrong per se, though. Though it would depend on someone actually realizing that it's not made up, that it is real.
That it's actually my fingerprint on these creatures I've made.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I have literally no doubt that all the companies and the government
already have stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all spying on us to get information.
Yeah.
And like. It's not even a question. I mean, there were the Snowden leaks. Like, it's like, yep, that's just a thing that happened.
The Snowden leaks?
Edward Snowden was a guy that leaked a huge database showing that the NSA, the National Security Agency,
this was recent, right?
It was like 10 years ago or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but showing that the NSA was spying on people and wiretapping people like without a warrant and things like that. And now he's technically a fugitive because was the purpose of the lockdowns, and the purpose wasn't to eradicate it, like eliminate
how some
it
people did.
completely. Some people thought that we'd be able to do that, but it was always too contagious, and it was very quickly apparent that we weren't going to be able to eliminate it. But then the purpose was to develop understand it, and then develop like a vaccine and a treatment, and we did all three of those things. Like
we conquered it.
I mean, it's still killing people, but like so is the flu.
However, still stay away from your grandmas. Keep your grandmas safe.
Yeah, and
grandpas too. I don't mean to exclude. It's just I only had a grandma. If you can't see like all of her knickknacks, this is all my grandma's stuff. Like you have to understand, I praised her so much because as much as she was a mean grandma, she was a hilarious grandma. Like, okay, let me tell you about her real fast. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so she used to, every time we would change a channel, if you changed a channel, she would think you would break it. So that means we had to only stay on one station every time and hope that she did. Yeah, and hope she did, or else you break it. So changing the channel broke it. And then the fan, everything breaks. The fan, if you turn on the fan, it breaks. If you open the fridge too much, it'll break. So she was really good at keeping her weight down, and
because she didn't open the fridge a lot.
And then she would have expired food. I think every old person does this. Have extremely over expired food. Yeah.
Would she eat it, or was it just sitting in the cabinets
sometimes
forever?
She would eat it, and sometimes she wouldn't. And we would try to throw it away, and she'd be so angry when we did. We're like, Grandma, you're gonna die. And then she would do this thing where she'd be so cold that she would turn on the heater, but then she would get fully naked because she was so hot. So just turn off the heater then, Grandma, or turn it low.
Wow, yeah, that's an extreme reaction.
It's like, it didn't make sense to me. And she would answer the door sometimes naked. I'm like, Grandma, you're not senile. You're just doing it on purpose now. And then she would walk down the street with her bottle of wine, and because she couldn't open it. And she would walk down the street, try to ask her neighbors to open it. But you have to imagine how that was to passerbyers.
Right,
Just like having a little lady with her wine, carrying it close to her.
Just walking down the street with her wine,
And she was really old, let me tell you. She was like 90 years old. And what else did she do? She, oh my God. She used to like tell the city, I did that. Like she used to tell the cities, oh, paint this, plant this. Oh, I did this in the 99th cent store to do this complaint, and she'd be like, I did that. I did that. You see all these cities that have color to them? I did that because I asked them to do that. She did it.
Yeah, she
made it
took credit or
So if you go down Glendale and if you see colorful houses or buildings, she did that.
Okay.
So it was too bland. My grandma did that. Okay, wait. Did you know our family married the guy who sings, dun, 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 the piano.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah, we married the guy who did the trumpet player, but that's the only thing we've done. Married him. Our family married him.
Well, who in your family? It's not like your whole family married him.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Well,
like when your cousins or something.
You don't say that when you get married. When someone gets married.
Not usually. No. I say like, oh, my cousin married blah blah blah, or whoever. You know, like my aunt or my nephew.
You don't say that?
I don't say my family married them. No.
Well, let's just say then.
I mean, it's fine. I was just.
It was one of my like old aunts or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She single-handedly married this man.
Single-handedly, yeah.
What was I gonna say though?
I don't know.
I forgot. Can you remember what I was saying?
Things that your grandma did.
No,
the colorful houses.
what I'm gonna say in the future.
I
really hope you do, because I can't remember.
You were, it's just out of reach. It's right there, but I can't quite grab it.
Okay, wait. I want to talk about cool people I've had in my life.
Okay.
So I had another person that has Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
He's 19, but he's so innocent that I just baby him because he looks like a baby too, you know. But when I tell you, if he was normal, he'd be the most interesting boy. Like, he's already interesting, but like, he keeps socks in his pockets. So just imagine you keeping socks in your pockets, just tons of socks.
Okay.
And then he likes to smell everything. Literally, like anything you have, he will smell it. Like.
Okay.
And so just imagine someone that's over excessive smeller that just loves smelling things and hugging and affection and pointing and like saying all these cool random phrases he comes up with. And then he's such a good host. When I tell you, he will give you anything that he likes and just give it to you. And like like his toys, his socks, his food. You know.
Yeah, he's really generous.
Tell me that wouldn't be just like an interesting guy.
I mean, it sounds like he is an interesting guy. Like,
no, but if he was if he was normal already, people would be like, "You're so interesting," you know.
Do you think people don't do that because he's?
I think they just think that that's a part of who he is, what he has. Makes
I
him
see
like
what
that.
you're saying. Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Do you know any interesting person that you want to mention?
Do I know any interesting
that you want
person?
to mention? That deserves the interesting mention.
The interesting mention. Well, my friend does fire spinning. That's really cool.
Okay. Does he do anything else?
Yeah, he does. He sews things. He like makes clothes and stuff. He like makes music. He does sound recording on sets as like a job. Like.
Okay, yeah,
he's a sound producer. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He really, really friendly. He paints,
What does he paint?
Random things. Most recently, I saw I think flowers. Like he took a little notebook out on a hike and like sat in a tree painting flowers.
Aww.
Yeah,
that's so sweet.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's very, very friendly. Very great listener. Great communicator too. Yeah.
Would you say I'm somewhat of a good communicator?
Yeah, I think you're a good communicator. I think
what was it?
No. I was gonna say that like if trying to do a single focus topic would be difficult, but like in terms of just having a general conversation.
It's like I'm trying to also add in those funny because we've already had like some weird conversations, some serious. We can stay on one topic. You want to stay on one topic?
I'm not saying it's necessary. I'm just saying they're different. They're different communication styles. I'd actually prefer if you didn't call me boy.
I know you're older, so you do want the elder respect. No,
it's just that's actually a really interesting question. Why does that irk me?
Now it's a therapist session.
No, it's not. It's not that because this might be a little controversial, but I don't think you should respect people because they're your elder. I think you should respect people because you should respect people.
Oh, totally.
But like, I don't think that automatically.
Yeah, and also if they're older and they're like they show definite wisdom, then
yeah. I mean, you should respect them for who they are.
Yeah,
if they do have wisdom, if they're a good person.
There's old people who aren't wise and like. Yeah. I find it so weird when old people cuss like a sailor and act really like they're a teenager. I find that so odd. It seems very misplacing. I mean, it can be fun, but I'm just like, it's like almost like, see, I'm being sexist. It's almost like a sexist thing. See?
What do you think?
I'm being like an Andrew Tate kind of right now for old people.
Ageist.
Ageist, yes.
And what do you think you'll be like as an old person?
Well, okay, so would you say I'm somewhat like of a mother figure you see me as sometimes?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't particularly seen you nurturing anybody or anything, but
well, not yet.
Yeah.
In the future, you will.
But I
see myself, like being very. You see me already being very creative already, so I see myself still being creative. The only thing I see myself doing differently is maybe baking pies, literally, and putting it on the seal because I love that stereotype. You know, like putting them on the seal. I have to have a seal, window seal, with them cool.
Right.
And I just really hope I don't become senile. If I become senile, it's okay. I'm already somewhat senile, so it's okay, you know. But
it would be devastating to me to become senile because like just thinking about things and thinking about the world and like having interesting conversations is like such a core part of my personality and what I like doing that like not being able to do that anymore would be like heartbreaking.
I know. Imagine if all of a sudden you all of a sudden you couldn't remember just the first names of people. It must be devastating.
No, I do think about that sometimes, and like people that like getting an Alzheimer's diagnosis, for example, has got to be so devastating, especially if it's early. So like you're aware of what's going to happen to you, and you can't stop it. Like that's terrifying. You know.
I think I would be so sad that with my mom to suddenly forget me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that. Also, like, it's hard being the person, but it's hard for literally everyone around them.
Yeah, exactly. It would be very hard for me.
Yeah.
But no.
Sorry, that's kind of heavy.
The point, I think I'll be a cool old lady. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be
but you think you'd be basically the same, like?
Yeah, like the only difference is I actually tell people I can't wait till I get older because when we get those turkey necks, I can't wait to flap it around. When I tell you, I used to love flapping my grandma's extra skin under her arms and that. Like the feeling, it feels so good. Have you ever flapped an old person?
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever like flapped it for fun or anything, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's an experience I recommend. It feels so soft and so fun and just so interesting.
Okay.
Interesting for days.
So you can't wait to do that to yourself?
To myself.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. That's something to look forward to. No, but the part of the reason I asked was because you said that you found it strange when there was like an old person acting young.
I think
Do you think you would still
think it's acting young. I think it's acting immature. That's what I meant.
Immature because they curse so much?
No,
what?
Imagine them acting like a fuckboy or like you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or being like, yo, dude, or like stuff like that. I'd be like, that's not ageist. That's just a little like, hey, maybe you should work on your personality. Oh.
That's interesting.
I left my hair there on purpose.
I'm sorry, I've ruined everything. And it's interesting. So like, old people shouldn't use young people slang?
No, it's not that. It's that like, you know how like it's sad to categorize guys, but like, you know how guys like we're just like all just drink, all just have party, all just have the stupid conversations of like pee, poop, fart kind of thing. You know what I mean? Then I think it would be a little too much for an old person. That's what I mean by ageist. But it's not fully ageist once I explain it better. And it's like if you have the cigarette grandma that's like, you know, cigarette grandma, you know. You get what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And it's interesting.
I think you should have a very good, fun personality no matter what your age. But certain things, it's like it's almost like inappropriate.
It doesn't. Well, so the reason I'm kind of exploring this is because it seems like what's appropriate in this context is really like what you expect from
a person.
From a person in a particular group, in this case, older people, based on like the culture, you know, like the culture that you're in.
Yeah.
And I am very individualist, like, which is funny because I was espousing some collectivist ideas earlier, but I've never really fit into
a group.
Yeah, like
you could go to any group, huh? You could jump groups, find fit anywhere.
Not any group, but I can definitely go to a lot of different groups. And obviously, there's some that resonate more than others with me, and that I connect with.
Me too.
But I've never really felt like I fit into one or certain expectations based on my age or anything like that.
Me too. I think age is such a dumb thing, and this is why I said stop this whole thing of like once you turn 30, you know, you're ugly looking. I'm like, or you look, or
Did
you don't look.
Did someone tell you that?
No, people just say that to
Who
people
says
who are
that?
30.
That's fucked up.
You need to look this up. Like people, once you turn 30, once you turn 30, it's like they say you don't look ugly. You look, I don't know. You should start looking older, and then if you don't, it's weird. And I'm like, guys, you do realize 30 is really young compared
you still
to
got
your whole life.
most of your life ahead of you. Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'm not this, and these are people from, obviously, I feel like these are people who once they turn 30 are gonna have the most midlife crisis kind of thing happen to them.
Yeah, people who are the most obsessed with aging and concerned about it, or like policing it for other people and like what they should and shouldn't do, are the ones who are going to freak out the most when they do age, because we all are going to.
Exactly. And I'm like saying, and like, you know, like how I said, oh, women lose value at 25. I'm like, well, the thing is that
who says that? Like, okay, Andrew Tate, but like this is not a popular
from Fresh and Fit, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I have heard he's an asshole. Actually, every time I've heard anyone talk about him,
but you have to
in
understand,
a personal capacity.
Yeah, but it also Hollywood kind of is like that too.
Hollywood is very much like that. That's what we were talking about earlier, where you can just look at the age distribution of working actors and celebrities, and it's pretty much constant for men. Mm-hmm. Like there are older men in movies, and there are younger men in movies, and middle-aged men, and it like drops off a cliff for women.
Yeah, and like let's just be honest, they just, like I said, they just like how young people look.
Yep.
However, to say, like, if anything, nowadays I've been noticing more 18-year-olds being more promiscuous than I ever was. You know, I see it being more prominent now because like social media. Because when I was starting, social media had barely started. Like Instagram had just been born, and TikTok wasn't even existing until I was an adult. Like, I don't know if you agree with that.
That social media has
made people
encouraged promiscuity?
Yeah.
That's an interesting
for
thing.
women, a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because
I don't have a strong thought about it.
Because, well, I hope I'm not offending you.
No, I'm not offended.
Because, like, if anyone has that, I'll totally debate them, and I'll totally be like, I understand your point, and I won't. I'll try to dismiss it. You know what I mean? But however, like, I'm not gonna be mad at them, you know, or anything. I don't think anyone should be mad about opinions. They should just state how they feel. You know?
Yeah. No. Definitely being open. For sure. One of the most valuable things is actually being open to opinions and perspectives that are different than your own.
Yeah.
Rather than surrounding yourself with people who all have the same opinion, and then you just get an echo chamber. Like, hearing other perspectives broadens your understanding of the world.
And like, see, like, this is why I like these guys from Fresh and Fit as much too, because they give me something to talk about. And because I hate to say it, yes, the world would be great if everyone was loyal to each other. However, without being non-loyal, there would be different points of views too, and less variety of thought. You know what I mean?
I mean, up to a point. Like, even though, as I was just saying it, that doesn't mean that like for example, there are neo-Nazis in the world, and like no, I know it's an extreme example, but it's just to illustrate the point. And it's like,
I get you.
And I don't think that they are contributing to the intellectual landscape, like broadening views in the same way that I'm talking, because they're not respecting other human beings. Exactly, and like so there are certain guardrails around what I think are worthy perspectives to engage in and bring into the popular culture. And just at the most basic level, it's really just, do you respect other people? Like, exactly. Like that's it. That's the only...
Like, see, if I was on these podcasts with these guys, like, I would be very respectful. I'd be like, listen, yeah, but I've seen people where they have the same views and yet somehow they still end up yelling at each other. I'm like...
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And, well, people will fight about anything, quite frankly.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we've come up with things that we disagree about, but we don't find it necessary to yell.
Yeah.
Because I like the fact you have your own ideas. I genuinely do.
Thanks. I like it too.
I like mine too.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's just what we were saying. That's what makes the conversation interesting and like helps you broaden your perspective.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's very easy to become friends with people who look at the world the same way you do. Like,
yeah, it is.
Like, but that makes it less likely that you hear other perspectives, and then like meeting new people is like, oh wait, okay, there's
like,
this, yeah.
Like I already told you before, I'm monogamous, but I don't mind if anyone's
polygamous.
Polygamous, yes. But does that mean that, like, see, and I have my own beliefs and they have their own beliefs too, you know what I mean? Because I'm Christian, and I don't think you mind or care, you know? Where some Christian beliefs believe that, and I don't know if you've known this, I just want to see if you know this. And this is what I mean by also, it can be like physicists, it could be like theoretically thinking, is that like, so if you get with too many people, it's believed in my thing that you make a soul tie with each person that you've been with. That if you haven't stayed with that person, slowly it starts to make so many soul ties that you lose emotion after a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you stay with that person, that soul tie can genuinely start to stay strong. Of course, make that soul tie with somebody that you felt like was already going to be there for you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. It even lines up with, like, sometimes people talk about not that specifically, not soul tying and in a Christian context, but I've heard many times even outside of that, people talking about like every person that you're with, they like have a piece of your heart.
Yeah, I've heard that saying too. Yeah. But this is more on the spiritual level.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's whereas that's more purely emotional.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that still then has the same connotation of like being split in different directions and like not having as much, and like also there's like people that become like, this doesn't happen to everyone that has a lot of partners though, because like you can think of like the hippies and like free love and like
I've seen them be very friendly with a lot of people.
Like they're still full of love and emotion and like very generous with other people and other humans, but like even if they have had a lot of partners. But then there's the opposite end where like people who, especially if they've experienced pain in like breakups and whatever, like become very jaded and then very guarded and have walls.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And this is what I mean by like people will get so close on their own personal experience that they'll categorize it to everyone.
That is by far the most common thing, where it's like, this one partner was like this, so everyone is like this.
Yeah, and I think that these people I've been telling you about think like this because of that experience. Something happened to them, most likely.
Yeah, something bad happened to them, or they didn't like some quality that their partner had. Now they assume everyone has that quality.
Yeah, I think that's what the issue is becoming now, and that's why we think like this.
That's what. Some people think like that. But I'm very big into acknowledging the absolute uniqueness of every person, and so I've dated a couple different people, and like it's just a totally different experience because they're different people, and it's like you don't want to bring in the past and assume that what worked previously will work now, or assume that they want the same things, or like that anything. They're just different people, and so you just have to learn to understand that person, listen to them, and communicate, not make assumptions based on your own experience, which like everyone does it automatically, but you have to like resist that and be like, no, this is a different person, it's totally different.
It's so hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can relate that. It's like, actually I'm not gonna say that.
What? Now I'm curious.
No, I was just gonna say it's like how people think you have to resist that, like sin, like sin.
Which sin?
All the sins.
All the sins, yes. I was just wondering if you had a particular one in mind.
Yeah, you have to resist this like a sin. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
What did you think how I was phrasing?
Oh, I thought you meant you have to resist the sin of blank, and I didn't know what the blank was.
So you were disagreeing with me? Even
no, I didn't. I didn't agree. I said, well, because we were talking about not doing that judgmental. So I thought you meant that. You were just looking at it from a different perspective. And I was like, well, yeah, I still do agree with that. Yeah.
How do you feel about this couch, by the way?
It's cool. It looks a little old-fashioned. Was this your grandma's couch? Yeah.
Does this make you feel intimate, though? Is this, like, perfect for a podcast kind of thing? Or did you want something more comfortable?
I mean, it is comfortable. It's not uncomfortable.
Doesn't this feel intimate for a podcast, though?
Yes.
It's a love seat.
A little love seat. Yeah, just staying next to each other.
Yeah.
It does. What? How did? What?
Oh, no, go ahead.
You were gonna ask a question.
I said no. I was gonna say that, like, you're more skinny. That we're choosing to stay so close to each other, though. Mm-hmm. Like, we could be, like, in little corners like this, like.
Mm-hmm. Real far, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, we're just doing that because that's just where we naturally fell into a place to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
how do you like it?
I love it. Yeah. I feel like it makes everyone intimate with a, like, love seats, no matter what. Mm-hmm. I think if you have an awkward conversation, sit on a love seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
That's my thought on it.
I feel like that
will break the mold. That will break the ice.
I feel like it will break the ice for most people, but then there will be some people that it will be so awkward it will get even more awkward.
You think so?
Some people, yeah.
Well, like, I think if
have you ever had a conversation with someone that you just could not connect with at all?
I have, but it didn't bug me enough because sometimes once I see that, I'm like, well, if this person didn't exist, then the kind of connection I had with someone else wouldn't be as intimate.
Yeah, well,
great.
No, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that person or anything bad with that experience. It's just like sometimes you just don't.
Do you have someone in mind?
Yeah, well, I met someone once and like we went on one date and it was the most awkward thing in the world because it was.
You should have sat on the love seat.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were sitting next to each other. We went to a bar, but like we just didn't have anything to talk about. I don't know. It didn't.
Was it
flow.
you or her? What do you say?
I mean, I would try to strike up the conversation. Yeah. Like, I would bring up a different topic and then be like, oh, well, what about this? And then, like, it would just kind of fade out. And then I'd try something else. And then the other night, it's like, okay, bye. And then
it was
like,
her, then.
Yeah. No, at one point, like where we were sitting, there were TVs. And, like, she started watching, like, the football game. And I was like, this is awkward. This is rude. Like, what the hell? Like, why are we even here? This is how it's gonna be.
On Omegle or something?
No, yeah, we met on a dating app, but like, and then after that, I didn't use one for.
Oh wait, I forgot to ask you. Are you dating?
I'm open to a relationship. I'm not dating anyone right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, I'm looking to find the right person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I haven't found them yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, it's life.
Another intimate way to get somebody to, I've experienced recently, the most interesting people are the ones that have fears of pinatas.
Fears of pinatas? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a fear of pinatas?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the bat always hits me, no matter what.
When you're swinging it, or when other people are?
No, how can I hit myself when I'm swinging? I mean, so every time I get hit by like someone swinging at a pinata, it always ends up hitting me.
Do they throw it, or like they just
they don't choose to hit me?
No. I know. I'm assuming it was an accident. Yeah.
So every time I get hit. So one time, there was this one time I was like, oh yeah, I didn't get hit. My mom was so happy, but they were like, no. Your kid got hit too, because what happened was this person threw the pinata so hard that it ends up throwing out of their hand, hitting a kid, and then ricochets off them and hits me.
Oh my god.
But let me tell you, I have a fear of pinata. It's real. Somehow the bat finds me. It's not even a joke.
It's homing in on you.
When I tell you 9 times, that's saying something.
That is a lot of times. I've never been hit by a bat at a pinata sound.
So I think you should open up. Have you ever been hit by a pinata when you go on a date?
No.
Why won't you?
Oh, you mean ask that question?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were asking me that question right now.
So next time you go on a date, I suggest...
You've been hit with a bat while opening up a piñata. That's an interesting icebreaker. That's a very different question. It'll be unexpected.
And then sit on a love seat.
Mm-hmm. And then sit on a love seat and you'll have a very intimate conversation. Yeah.
And if they say no, you just ask why not.
Why not? Yeah. What's your deal? Why haven't you been hit with a piñata bat?
I should ask you that too. Why haven't you?
I don't know. I've not stood close enough. I
didn't even stand close enough to these things. When I tell you, they home in.
Well, I'm not magnetic to piñata bats.
I guess that's
actually what it is. Yeah.
You know what I found interesting about me is like, so I find myself almost feeling like I have Tourette's because the reason why is because, and I think it's also my way of trying to start conversations because I try to keep going with conversations. Mm-hmm. Is that I'll say, "Did you like that?" I'll end up at the end of the day because eventually they'll be like what? Or they'll have something to say that they're like, yeah, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You know what I mean? So like, I could be like, did you like this? Did you like that? And you'll be like, but the one time I said that one time accidentally when someone was going to the bathroom and they returned, and it was like Tourette's. When I tell you, it was like Tourette's. It was just Tourette's because I was just so used to saying it to keep the conversation going. I was like, did you like that? I'm like, and they just were like staring at me for the longest time. So that didn't work that way.
See, I would have laughed. I would have thought that was really funny.
But say it any other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like right now, like, did you like that?
The conversation that we just had about piñatas?
Yeah, see anything it will work with.
Sure. Yeah. It just I think it will always prompt that question, or most of the time it's like, what specifically are you referring to?
You better have been paying attention. I know.
Yeah. No, but were you actually asking me just now?
I think I already know you liked it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. You've had a good time.
Yeah. Lots of laughter and a little bit of serious. You know, everything you wanted in a podcast.
I know. Well, I'll stay. Okay, one day we'll stay real serious and talk about the sexist thing, but I can't. I have a hard time staying close to serious conversation because I reflect.
It's not a requirement.
I know.
Yeah.
But I do want to I know I can be really you heard my poem. Mm-hmm. I can be very serious and very emotionally invested in something if I want to be. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. I believe it. And do you find that you express the serious side of yourself through your art, like with the poem and stuff?
And if I was to react, like I told you, react videos, like I've seen YouTube videos, I'm gonna do that too. Like maybe will you come back? Will you come back?
Will I come back to to be on? Sure, yeah.
Because then we can react to something, and then I will be all like, "What is your stance on this?" And I can get really deep into it. Okay. And I could be very dedicated to that.
I mean, sure.
I think I'm really good at debate team. Are you good at debate team? Have you ever been in debate?
I've never been on the team, though. Yes, I do think I'm very good at debating.
Yeah.
I remember I did do a speech class at PCC, and the professor, towards the end of the semester, actually invited me to join the debate team. I didn't because the school debate team. I didn't because I was way too busy. But
what's the strongest passion you would do to debate?
The thing I'm most passionate
to debate, yeah.
There's so many options. I have strong opinions about a lot of things.
Oh, what are your strong opinions?
I mean, just various things in
You're just saying
politics. Various things in. Don't cut me off. Don't interrupt me. Various things in politics, like homelessness and welfare, and how to manage wealth inequality and sustainability and the environment. I mean, I have strong opinions about lots of things. Things that are more subjective or cultural, I'm very, very open to other perspectives and just understanding other people. But when it comes to things that I perceive as causing harm, I have very strong positions on them.
Oh, for sure.
Which, I mean, is not groundbreaking idea,
I mean,
but
it's a thing that we've been debating since centuries, for sure.
Yeah, but there are people that have the opposite perspectives. Like I generally tend to be more progressive, and so like people who are super conservative, like literally just believe almost the opposite of
Being
what I do,
progressive?
and like so it's, and I try to always be understanding and listening because these topics are complicated. Like
Oh,
there's
for sure.
there's not simple answers to any of them, but so when you ask what do I have a strong opinion on that I could debate about, like pick something, and
Yeah.
chances are like
Well, like I said, I would.
as long as it's not like pop culture stuff.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, I would fight for feminine, but I'm not really a feminist because I don't mind.
Yeah, you mentioned this earlier. Why don't you consider yourself feminist?
Well, because like I accept the fact that you guys are stronger than us. There's always going to be a thing.
Sure.
And then you have the way to produce more than us. Like you can take just a pill and still like shoot and then get them pregnant.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I had to think for a second.
Yeah. You know what I meant by shoot.
Yeah. Okay.
But us after.
But what does that have to do with being a feminist?
Well, because like feminists are like, no, we're exactly the same, completely exactly the same. And I'm like, no, we're not.
I've never met a single feminist that says that.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, then what makes a feminist?
A feminist, anytime I've ever spoken to someone who identifies as a feminist, the way that they describe it is as believing in equality, that like...
But wouldn't equality be like everything, wouldn't you say?
No,
okay.
Because there is context for things. It's not a denial of like biological differences. Like, men are on average more muscular, taller, things like that. Like, that's not...
Yeah.
Recognizing that is not... anti-feminist. It's just that's just like biological reality. And but everyone that I've ever talked to who talks about feminism is about prejudice mostly. So like things like the pay gap or
However, I have seen some of it where it makes sense. Yes, that's true. But then there's some things where I'm like, but you have to realize we're not looking in the right places. There's been women who are like CEOs of things and many great women that are billionaires. You know what I mean? So I just think we're not looking at it right, or we're not getting women that deserve that, or good representation of us as women. You know what I mean?
Representation is a big one too. It's always there have been great strides because it used to be that women couldn't own a business and now they can, and there are CEOs that are billionaires. But like I think when people talk about the disparity, it's like, okay, but they are literally half the population and they are not half of CEOs, like not even close. They're like single digit percentage, like 5%.
I was recently looking at all the creative things that women have done, like CEOs. Like I looked up 10 CEO, big, massive ones that are on Jeff Bezos' thing or higher. Mm-hmm. And then I also looked up at the creative things women have done. And I'm proud to be a woman. Let me tell you, I love it because like a woman made a bulletproof vest. A woman came up with Bluetooth. Originally.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
So, or like the concept to get Wi-Fi. And she was actually an actress first in Hollywood. And when I tell you, this is another thing about Hollywood, they rather had focused on that, like her beauty and her talent, than all the other creative parts about her.
Right, yeah.
And intelligence. Like she was so intelligent that she was just like, oh, God, this is so dumb.
Yeah. There's definitely historically in culture and still currently a big focus on tying women's worth to beauty, which is like fucked up.
Yes, and I'm like, I have found women more attractive when they like. I found like men too, like where it's like they don't have to be so beautiful but have substance. Like I've noticed that like I like guys, like I said, who are a little bit fruity, but like not gay, but just fruity, you know. Except that they're masculine despite being feminine too. Like you can and having big noses and being not the most beautiful, but being charming.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree with that. Where like, what makes someone attractive is like who they are.
Yeah,
like,
charm.
Yeah.
People like don't notice charm. Like sometimes, like we're so infatuated with beauty that I feel like I'm like, but this was way better.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I really like about like the goth subculture.
Goth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. the absolute repudiation of the idea of how you look determining your worth, and like just total acceptance of you whichever way you are. Like that's a core tenet of that subculture, and I like that a lot.
I like goth. I like the goth was originally supposed to just be artsy, like art.
What do you mean by originally supposed to be? In what
Well,
context?
like because like now I feel like people are making it trendy, like it's just black.
It is kind of coming
it's
back.
just like black and white and just like hard and like like hard and like emo kind of thing. Like they associate it with emo too. When really I'm like, you have to understand, it was more about art to them, like being artistic.
Yeah.
Like that was like just their makeup in general was more like an art form.
Yeah, and a huge part of the subculture is the music. Like it was built around the music. That
was art in itself. It was more about art, not about a style or like people also associate that gothic with like being that dark shadow in the corner, being like mean or like just dark. You know what I mean? When it's not, it can be very light at the same time.
Sure. Yeah, and it's funny. Like if you compare. Like yesterday, I was at Ren Fair and I was a fairy, and then that night I was at a goth rock show. Like,
see, and they accept you. Like, I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I wore my elf ears there.
Yeah, like they accept you. I don't know why people make it seem like, oh, you have to only be in a certain circle. I'm like, no.
Yeah. No, for sure. It like there's definitely an aesthetic look to it, but like as part of the subculture, but like it's not what matters, you know? Like, yeah. It's just being cool and creative and engaging with the art forms.
Exactly.
Sure.
I think a lot of things are misconstrued. I think a lot of things were originally supposed to be something else, and then we totally diluted things, made it into something it wasn't.
Well, that happens constantly.
Constantly.
And one of the things is just when things become more popular, they tend to become more general and like less specific. So they're not.
Yeah, like I said, they dilute it.
Yeah, because then it has more mass appeal. And I feel like that's actually going back to it. That's actually part of the goth culture originally, is to a little bit of a rejection of the mainstream. It's like, we're going to do our own thing. We don't need to be appealing to everyone.
Exactly.
We're just going to do things that we enjoy and like and our community enjoys, and we don't care if it's not what the mainstime likes,
unless it's harmful.
That's always bad.
But everything other usually needs to just be like
But it's all with consent and all that good
most
stuff.
things needs to be like received more, because unless it's causing harm, then you guys need to be more nice.
Yeah, that's generally my stance. It's like, if it's all with consent and not causing harm, then you do you. Just,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, okay, so if you have another date, so you're gonna do a love seat, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Ask. Have you ever been hit by a piñata bat and then go sit on a love seat? The thing that's awkward about that is like then you like there's not like love seats out. Well, actually no, there are love seats at some cafes.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like you wouldn't invite someone for a first date to like your house and then sit on a love seat. But no, there's cafes and stuff.
Yeah,
there are places where there are.
I know. I was thinking about
seats.
maybe not bringing you up here by my podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, but it wasn't because of anything bad. It was just because I was like, should I? But yeah, do that. Then also, have you ever seen this thing where you can clean out your ears with this squirting thing?
Is it hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah, it's like that, but they have like this connected tube to it underneath it.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think it's a very intimate thing. Maybe for couples that aren't the first couples.
Right,
but maybe like if you're getting bored, why don't you try that? You know what I mean?
If you're getting bored, just clean each other's ears out.
Clean each other's ears with when I tell you I hated doing that at like doctor's offices though, because I wouldn't hear for a long time. Like for some reason water wouldn't escape my ear.
Oh, to get like all stuffed up?
For a day. Does that happen to you?
I don't know about for a whole day, but like, if I go swimming or something like it, or like if it really gets in there, it's hard to hear for a while. Yeah. And does it also happen just whenever you get water in your ears,
Yeah.
or only for those cleaning type things?
Usually just for the cleaning, but I wouldn't hear it for a day.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I know. I thought, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go deaf just because they did that. But yeah, if you're bored, you should do that.
Okay.
Do you think you would do that if you were in a relationship?
I don't see why not. If it ever came up. Like, yeah. I've never like cleaned my ears in depth. Like.
Yeah, maybe you need to.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because
it might turn out I can hear way better than I thought.
I know. What if you did?
Maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah. I haven't had any problems with hearing. I'm actually very protective of my hearing. I wear earplugs when I go to concerts. Yeah.
But you go to so many. That's the thing.
Yeah. When you're at that many, like, they're loud and it will damage your hearing, like, over time. And pretty much any musician does the same thing because their hearing is so important to them. And I mean, I'm not a musician, but I love music, and I would be absolutely devastated if I damaged my ears. Because irreparable, you know? You can't get it back. Yeah.
Would you rather lose any of your senses? Which senses?
Long silence, yeah. Because, I mean, all of them would suck.
Yeah.
Any one of them would suck.
While he's saying this, I will tell interesting conversation. I will have one by myself.
What would you?
I would say smell, because I already can't smell.
Oh, really?
I can't.
Oh, okay. So
So
you've already lost it.
Yeah, don't you remember when, like, you said that we were walking around and you said it smells really bad, it smells like piss here, and I said, oh really? And you're like, yeah, you can't smell that, and I was
That's
like,
right, yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't have smell.
So, like,
not unless I'm really deep in something.
Can you smell like a lemon?
Not
like
usually.
If you like cut it or something.
I can only smell if it's really unbelievably potent, like if I'm in a sewer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the only time. So I would imagine.
Has it always been that way?
No, that's the thing. Probably when I was like 7, it stopped.
Okay.
But like now to get the my smell back, it would probably be too overpowering. That I would hate it. I couldn't stand it.
Interesting. Yeah.
See, it's so weird. Like thinking about getting your senses back, it's almost overpowering that you don't want it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like if I was to smell again, I'd probably smell dirt, and I'd be like, "Oh, the dirt smells too much." Have you ever had a moment where you smelled dirt and actually smelled it?
Yeah.
It's such a weird experience. Like I remember one time I did, and I was like, I can really smell this dirt.
Yeah, it's a very particular like soil. Like
it's such a weird smell.
Smells like soil. Yeah. It doesn't smell like anything else. That's just its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It No, yeah. I mean, I don't think soil is a bad smell though. Like it's not like it's not like sewage.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But
would you like one of these conditions? So there's a health condition you can get when hiccups forever.
I've heard of
hiccups
this.
Forever?
No.
Okay.
No, I actually used to get hiccups all the time. I remember walking home from middle school. I'd always get an Arizona iced tea, and I'd be drinking it while walking, and I would always get hiccups
then why
every
did you
single
keep
day.
drinking the Arizona?
Because I wanted the iced tea. It was a hot.
So it was worth the hiccups.
Yeah, it was. But the thing is, they'd be like, I don't know if this is true for other people, but for me, hiccups are slightly painful. Like,
no, they're not painful for me. It's almost like being tickled for too long and you don't like it.
Well, for me, they hurt. Like, not a lot.
Have you ever been tickled?
Yes, I have been tickled.
And do you enjoy it?
Usually
not.
No,
like, it's like that feeling to me.
Well, yeah, no, that's not what I feel with hiccups. But I do know that feeling because I have been tickled, and
I'd feel sad if you never been tickled.
That would be very sad.
Yeah.
That would genuinely be very sad.
I think these people,
everyone should have a tickle.
I know. I think people that are sad or like angry like this that I see in these podcasts haven't been tickled. That's what it is.
Maybe it's been too long since their last tickle.
Yeah.
No, but that's just as an aside. That's kind of people who have an overinflated opinion of the importance of maturity and like being serious and like not playing. They probably genuinely haven't been tickled and like played with their partner in like many years.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Like I like being playful. Like
I love being playful. I'll be playful with my mom tons of times, And just because she's my mom, I'm not gonna be serious with her. I'll be like, Mom, is that your friend? Even though I know that's not her friend, I'll just randomly say that because I just want her to be all like, yeah, that's my friend. That's my best friend.
You just start creating a whole world.
Just create a whole world for her, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's fun. I haven't done that with my mom, but I do that with one friend in particular. We do that all the time. We just create a whole scenario, a whole world, and like go on little adventures. Yeah. It's very magical. No, but with hiccups. So I would get them every day, and so I actually trained myself. I figured out a way to get rid of them. And
how do you do it? You hold your breath?
No, it's because I had to learn what a hiccup was, which I was able to like pay attention to my body, and it's like your diaphragm just like spasming, just going like whoop, and like crunching up real quick, and like that's the hiccup. So I figured I was like, I have to bring my diaphragm under control because right now it's just doing its own thing. Okay. So I would do deep controlled breaths from the diaphragm very consciously and be like very slowly in, very slowly out, and like really feeling it right there and focusing on it, and then like it like calms it down and then they go away.
Do you think it would work for the person that has hiccups forever?
I don't know, because the fact that they have it forever makes me wonder if they're different than like regular hiccups.
Yeah, like, I know. I'm like, I hope the trick of like drinking water and holding your breath would help them. But
yeah, but clearly it didn't.
Can you demonstrate a hiccup for me?
Yeah.
You actually, they're near believable.
A lot of practice or experience, not practice.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. No, I think I remember like the Guinness record. It's like 45 years or something, right? Of continuously having. How do you even sleep?
How do you have a relationship?
Yeah, like
with anybody.
No, but like, how do you sleep? Did he keep hiccuping
while
sleeping?
What I was thinking. That's what I always think too about. I'm like, how did he sleep? How did he eat?
Yeah. It would be hard to eat. Your mouth would, be jumping every few seconds. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild.
We'll pray for them, okay?
Yeah.
I hope they're not still having those.
I don't know. Last I heard it was a long time ago, like years ago. Maybe they are. I mean, they lasted this long, so I don't know.
Do you want to be in the Guinness World Record book?
I've never thought about it, but like, if I was going to have a record, what would the record be for, or what would I want the record to be? Is I think an interesting question, and I'm gonna say. By the way, in the editing in the podcast, you gotta cut out all the like really long pauses where the listener would record.
I don't think you're being that long of a pause. So, I'll just do the
earlier one. Yeah, good old Jeopardy.
Was that from Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even really like Jeopardy.
Yeah, Jeopardy's it's fine.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna. You made me forget what else I was gonna think about now too.
If you were going to have a world record, what would it be?
It was gonna be something else.
No, but I'm asking you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I want to be. Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a call. Oh, I'm getting a call from my mom again. Hold on. She has left. Okay, I can't answer if it's not going. Can you fix this? Fix it. She's calling.
There it is.
Okay. Hello? Are you okay? You're on my podcast. You're on my podcast, Mom. We've been going on for a long time, let me tell you. It's been fun. How would you say it?
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun, yeah. This is on the podcast. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Should we come in? Okay, alright. Okay, bye. She's coming in a second. Okay. So I wanted to say a couple other things, but I'm totally forgetting. My Guinness World Record, I don't know. But I know that I have this like arm thing where it's like, what is what is the point of this? Like, it extends outwards. You see it a little bit?
Yeah, it pops up. Yeah.
What's
You have a double jointed.
I know, but what's the point of being double jointed like that?
I mean, there's not a point
What is
of
the
it.
point
It's
of
just
being
a
double
thing
jointed?
that happens.
Like what, if there's a key right there if I'm locked up and they keep it out of arm reach and I can just go like that and get it? Is that the point of it?
Yes.
I
That
think
is
so too,
explicitly
okay.
the reason. Yep.
Very,
So you can reach
very
the key.
specific.
Yeah.
And then wait, do you see this?
Oh yeah.
Do you have that? They're gonna not know
no.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, the shoulder blades pop.
Yeah,
out.
so your shoulder
like,
blade.
mine doesn't pop out that far.
Yeah. Can I see?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah, it does do it.
Oh, it does. I think a little less than yours, but yeah,
Yeah.
it does do it. I actually didn't
so
realize
what's
that.
the point of being double jointed?
So you can reach the key if you're locked up.
Okay.
I thought we established this.
What if you're double jointed in your legs though? Then you just grab it with your
Yeah, you
legs.
grab it with your toes.
Okay. So
Sometimes that's the only way to reach.
yeah, if they keep the key just right out of
that much farther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the reason. Mhm.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I had so many things to say, but now I'm forgetting.
That'll happen. That happens to me too.
I know.
Like sometimes I'll like start a I'll be like, oh, you know what, and then like I'll have a thing I was gonna say, and then I'll forget it, but
It's
like just
you.
in the second.
It's you.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Whatever goes on in your head to remembering or forgetting to say things, that's all in your head. That's all. It happens to me too, but that's in my head.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'll remember later.
Okay.
What does that say?
Calliope musicals. They're a
Why does
band.
Why does he only have 4 fingers? Alien?
Maybe, yeah. Creating, they were pretty alien, actually. They were a band that I saw live, and like, easily one of the strangest bands the strangest band I've ever seen.
How
Really
so?
fun. Like, just the visuals, the colors, and the shapes, and the things. They brought in, like, props, and like, they had this person that had, like, a TV in their chest and a TV for a head, and was, like, dancing, and, like, just really interesting. Like, I don't mean strange in a bad way. Like, super cool, and very fascinating. It was a really great show, but, like, very different. I've never seen anything like it. Like, it was interesting. I saw them in Boston.
Huh?
I saw them in Boston.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Though I think they were on tour. I don't think that's where they're from. Yeah.
I didn't think so either.
Okay.
Okay. I think David Bowie's the most creative, though. Let's be honest.
Oh
Most
yeah. Well,
interesting.
I did. I mean, I love David Bowie's music, and his aesthetic is amazing. And I didn't mean the most interesting, but like the strangest. I would say that they're stranger than David Bowie.
You think so? Have you seen David Bowie? Maybe you haven't fully seen all his stuff.
I have seen David. I mean, I wouldn't say that I've seen everything, but like I have seen, and he definitely is up there. He's stranger than.
Yeah.
I think he's by far the strangest of any mainstream artist. Anyone that's gotten like really big.
Yeah.
But like, this band's weird.
Yeah. See, people think that he's not handsome, but
Really?
they think.
Who says that?
A lot of
He's
people.
super handsome.
I think he is so. When I tell you, he has like the lengthiness of like old pictures, old time pictures, like those. You know the lengthiness in those pictures where they would make everything elongated. He has that kind of figure, but in a great kind of frame. Then he had this. He didn't fix his teeth like Freddie Mercury, and I thought his teeth were just like interesting too. Something about like my teeth, like I never want to fix them, because I think they give me character. Like I have a really big overbite. You can see it, right? And I love it. I don't want to change it. And this is another thing about society making you feel like you have to. I think they're cute. Yeah. And I'm tired of this. It's like it's character.
Yeah. It's part of your uniqueness. It's kind of like when people like the most extreme version of this is when people get plastic surgery and then they all start kind of looking the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're all trying to fit the same ideal that's pushed by media and culture. That's like totally unnecessary because we're all already unique. Yeah. Is that actually the time? Is it 3:30?
Oh my god. I made you miss it.
No, it's fine, but I should get going.
Okay, you should.
Yeah.
Our decaf coffee our drinks have totally melted.
Okay, so far. It's a mom thing.
Oh, okay.
That's cute.
Sorry, my mom's showing me her pit.
Madeline
pictures.
Excellent.
It's really terrible. Okay. Well, I think we're going to end it here. Thank you for joining. I don't know our name yet, but we'll figure it out. Yeah.
That should be the name of it. We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out, yeah. No, he had genuinely had said he had to go at 4, and we hadn't been paying attention. So thank you for coming. Hopefully Eric can come back again.
I'd love to be a guest.
And did you like this?
Yeah.
Did you genuinely like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to ask Peach if she can edit this.
I would actually be super fascinated to hear it